Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the North East Lincolnshire series, centred around Grimsby and Cleethorpes along the Humber Estuary. North East Lincolnshire has 21 civil parishes. Here's today's for you. Welcome back to North East Lincolnshire, everybody. This is another place where you can almost see one end of the village from the other end, believe it or not, so I shan't be here very long. Having said that, there's plenty to talk about in this place because there are two farms which basically this place is built on. The main road is interesting as well because all these houses don't have a street name. That one behind me is just simply number 3, and it's number 3 Beelsby. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Beelsby is located approximately 6 miles to the southwest of Grimsby. It is, and has been for many years, centred around two farms, Beelsby Hall Farm and Beelsby House Farm, both of which are owned by members of the same family. Beelsby historically was part of the Haverstoe Wapentake of Lincolnshire. Its name is believed to derive from the rare Old Norse male name Beli, making this Beli's village. It's never been a massive settlement, not even by Domesday Book standards. Make no mistake about it, Beelsby is tiny. It's a clustered settlement laid out along one road with the two farms at either end. It doesn't have much of note really, other than a church which has a peculiar tale to tell in the form of an extraterrestrial body, one of the sources of the River Freshney, and a shallow earthwork of a Bronze Age barrow on some private land. In this episode we'll see just how crazy parish boundaries can be again, because Beelsby has a strange one with neighbouring Hatcliffe. I would imagine, without even realising it, many of you will have seen lorries on the various motorways of the UK which are based right here. Beelsby House Farm is the base of the haulage firm Fenwick Brothers, whose location takes full advantage of the fact that there are 3 major ports not far away. In short, this is a tiny place with farming well and truly at its centre. It's still worth a visit though, so let's check it out. So this is Beelsby, literally. This road doesn't have a name officially, but it's known as Main Road. There are 17 numbered estate cottages along its length. That tells you how small a place we're dealing with here. Most of these houses have some minor modifications, but Beelsby is really all about two farms, Hall Farm and Beelsby House Farm. This is the entrance to the latter, which is the base of the haulage firm Fenwick Brothers. Incorporated in 1954, I can guarantee you at some point you will have all seen Fenwick Brothers lorries flying down a motorway near you in the past. The company is owned by the second and third generation of the Fenwick family. The location of the company is no coincidence either. Beelsby is ideally situated for easy access to the ports at Grimsby, Immingham and Hull. And you can't deny that Beelsby is a gorgeous location either. You're surrounded by all this fabulous Lincolnshire countryside and a couple of water features too. All I can hear at the moment are sheep in the background. Listen. It's a rare thing in Lincolnshire to find sheep, to be honest. It's normally arable farming out here. You don't get that much livestock. Anyway, I've come down here on this public footpath to talk about this. Now, Beelsby is the source of the River Freshney, but that's not the River Freshney. That is something else. The River Freshney begins to the north of Beelsby, between it and Laceby. And because this video is going to be such a short episode, I figure we haven't talked about the Freshney yet, so we may as well. That's what today's special section is. To the north of the village is one of the sources of the River Freshney. The river rises from at least 4 springs, the one at Beelsby being located furthest south. These springs combine with Teamgate Drain near Waltham, a spring from Bradley Woods, and another stream at Welbeck Hill to form Laceby Beck. Gradually widening as it flows through the Freshney Valley, it eventually runs into Grimsby before discharging into the River Humber. It runs for 8.7 miles in total. Along its route, it passes through the Freshney Bog Nature Reserve, which was created in 2001 as a washland, which could be used to hold excess water when the channel below it could not cope with the flow in the river. The bog is a major part of the flood defence system for the town of Grimsby. Originally, the Freshney entered the Humber at Pyewipe to the northwest of the town, but was rerouted in order to serve Grimsby Docks. Now, my route was supposed to take me through that sheep field, but I genuinely didn't fancy trying to battle through about 500 sheep. Trust me, it seems like there were that many there. So I've actually walked through Fenwick Brothers. I'm pretty sure they won't mind, but at least you can get a good view of their yard and the house in the background. The path I was supposed to walk down was part of the Wanderlust Way, which we met back in Barnolby. No matter, it just means we see a bit more of the village. As well as the Wanderlust Way, Beelsby is located on not just one but 2 national cycle routes. Both are shown here, the 110 and the number 1. The village street is lined with a collection of houses and cottages, some old and some new. Of course, Beelsby has no shops or any kind of amenities. It's never had a school. In the past, children would attend school at nearby Hatcliffe, although, as we'll see next week, they didn't have to go very far. Some of the cottages' names tell us a bit about what they used to be. This, for example, number 5 Beelsby, is an old joiner's cottage. Directly opposite this is a notice board, which is actually for the church, but it's the closest thing you're ever going to find to a parish notice board in a place this small. And seeing as the camera is in the perfect position for this, cards going on the notice board here. And it's even a pin board as well, that makes it a bit easier. Okay, let's head up that path now, up there, towards the church. Dedicated to St Andrew, this is Beelsby's parish church, a small stone building which was rebuilt in 1890. It can seat 104 people. Originally built in the 13th century, St Andrew's Church was at one time much bigger. It used to have a tower, and if you know where to look, you can see where it once was. A Grade 2 listed structure, the church is notable thanks to its seemingly barren churchyard. Nearly all the gravestones here have been taken up and stacked against the church walls. It only holds one service every month. And here's a peculiarity too. In the mid-1930s, a meteorite would tear a trench through its churchyard. Because it's sited on a hill, the churchyard offers some good views over the village. In one direction you can see the main street and the road towards the A18, whilst in another you get a good view of Beelsby Hall Farm. In all, not much to talk about here, but it's another idyllic little spot in the Lincolnshire Wolds. And there you have it, that's the main walk around Beelsby village. However, we are not quite done, because this one's got a very strange sort of boundary anomaly. I'm going to take you down now towards Hatcliffe, where the 2 parishes meet, and it's quite interesting to see exactly where that boundary is. So here we are then at the parish boundary between Hatcliffe and Beelsby. Here we go. It's Waith Beck. That's what this is. This flows under the road and goes over to the other side. And this means that part of Hatcliffe is actually within Beelsby Parish, because this is all Hatcliffe village. Everything this way is 100% Hatcliffe. Everything this way is Beelsby. Although those houses on this side, this post office, there's a schoolhouse around there, they are actually Hatcliffe because they're on that side of the beck, if that makes sense. Everything on this side is Beelsby. It's a very strange situation. So all the houses, if I walk up here, all the houses that you're about to see on the left of the screen are actually Beelsby, not Hatcliffe, which is weird because all of this, like I say, is Hatcliffe village. It's a very, very strange situation. But that's parish boundaries for you. They're odd, aren't they? As we've seen before. Anyway, time for me to move on to my next one, and I haven't got to go very far because I'm already in it. I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot. This has been the parish of Beelsby, and I'm out.